Hi, I'm Elizabeth, a senior librarian in the New York State Library's Manuscripts and Special Collections.
And I'm Josh, with the Researcher Services Unit of the New York State Archives and the man who put the arch in archivist. And this is Historically Not,
where we weigh in on the beefs and lesser-known kerfluffles of New York's historical debacles.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house
not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. These famous words open "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" or "A Visit from St. Nicholas," first published anonymously in the Troy Sentinel on December 23rd, 1823.
There are two camps in regards to authorship: Clement Clarke Moore and Henry Livingston, Jr.
Clement Clarke Moore claimed ownership of the poem for himself, first through friends who attributed it to him, and then eventually in 1844 in his own book of poems.
Which he could do because Henry Livingston Jr. was safely dead. Livingston's family, after his death, claimed credit for him. There are rumors, legends of copies that were read to them as children before it was even published, and there are suggestions within the family that maybe this version passed its way into the Moore household.
But they're wrong. Clement claimed it for himself in his lifetime. This was a serious man. He was a scholar, a divinity professor. Why would he lie?
And that's how we know he didn't write it, because it's not written like the Book of Common Prayer. His father was an Episcopal bishop, and he wrote heavy-handed moralism. Light, cheerful poetry was much more in the line of Henry Livingston Jr. There are other details. For example, the fact that the original names of the reindeer were in Dutch. Livingston himself was part of the sprawling Dutch Livingston family, great-great-grandson of the original Robert the Elder. So it is much more in line than the German Moore.
Which he did change the names. Originally Dunder and Blixen, and then eventually Donder and Blitzen. But that's okay, because he's a learned man, and when you learn things, you're allowed to change things. It's all right to change your opinion. And speaking of stylistic similarities, Moore was known to use anapestic tetrameter in some of his more lighter fare, which he did write and did have.
Livingston, though, was much more famous for his anapestic works. It is definitely one of his hallmarks. And lighter, more children's fare is much more in line with his. And we get into more technical details. The word choices, the word usage, statistically lean more towards Livingston.
All right, if I could just interrupt, you're being very boring. Washington Irving had written about Santa Claus placing his finger next to his nose in 1812, a thing Henry Livingston Jr. could not have known because he famously was dead in 1808.
Details.
So now we've laid out our arguments, each of us, some in a more entertaining way than others. So who do you think it is, Josh? Who are you going to claim?
In the end, I think we have to accept that there's absolutely no way to create a final answer to this question.
Yeah, but I really want to know who you think. So on the count of three. You ready? 1, 2, 3, Moore.
Livingston.
Girl, I'm right. You know I'm right. How about you guys? What do you think? Please let us know in the comments.